Hi, everybody. It's Craig from Picks and Parlays, back with the NBA. Yes, the NBA is finally going to return. We're going to be looking at the return for July 30th. We're going to look at the early matchup on TNT. We're going to have the Jazz versus the Pelicans, the number 4 ranked Jazz in the Western Conference versus the Pelicans that are a few games out of that last playoff spot. But before we get to it, don't forget, if you haven't done so, make sure you give us that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Make sure you don't miss out on all the great stuff we do daily. Of course, we'll have all your favorite experts back added here in the next few weeks as we get sports started back up. Both Major League Baseball, NBA, and NHL playoffs. NBA and NHL playoffs going to be in August. So we're going to have a ton of stuff to talk about, so make sure you turn on that notification bell. Okay, so we're going to be talking about this Jazz at the Pelicans. Oh, I'm sorry, Jazz versus the Pelicans. All these games are going to be played in that bubble in Orlando at Disney World's bubble that they've set up. The late game will be that Clippers-Lakers game. And even though a lot of people want to talk about that game, that means a little less because both those teams are securely in the playoffs, and with no home court advantage that's going to be talked about for the rest of this year. Not really sure it matters who gets the 1, 2, 3, or 4 seed, but that's what we're going to have for the later game. That early game, the Jazz versus Pelicans game, we're going to cover. The Pelicans are favored by 2 in this spot, and the total set at 220.5, which is severely down from what I would expect this line would have been back in March when these teams would have played. Would have been in the 230s because, of course, this Pelicans team not only was scoring a lot of points, but they were giving up a whole lot of points. But now we see this total down to 220.5. So my initial gut reaction is I think you got to be on the unders in these early matchups for the first 2-3 days, because a lot of these players, even though they live in million-dollar mansions, a lot of them don't have indoor practice facilities to go to. So a lot of them missed some of their training. Yes, they were working out. Yes, they were running. They were staying in cardiovascular shape, but a lot of them weren't getting up the repetition of shots. So I think early in the season, we're going to need to be the restart, that is. Early in this restart, you need to be playing on the under. So I do like the under 220.5. I think that would be my top play. If you said who you like on this one, I think I would take the Pelicans. I think you're got to go with the teams that are motivated to get into that playoffs. And I think Zion, if anybody hasn't seen the picture of Zion, he looked like he's actually lost a little weight, which I always thought he would be a little better if he could slim down. So I do like this Pelicans roster. I do think they're going to get that last 8th playoff spot, and I think they start tonight with a nice win. So I'm going to lay that -2 here. But my top play is going to be on the under 220.5 for opening night in the NBA, opening game of opening night in the restart in Orlando. So don't forget, if you haven't done so, give us that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to follow along.